I'm happy with that, okay? Okay, so let's look at what the difficulties probably were for people. Were you afraid of the x is greater than 1? Don't be afraid of that if you were, okay? The reason I had to go in there was to make the inverse of function. Then what we did is it's a mess to get to this point. I want to make sure that everyone is able to get to this by themselves. Okay. Are there any questions on how we got to that point? Because that's sort of a fundamental thing when we're going through this. Kylie, how you feeling? Good? Because that's fundamentally important here. Brad, you're well? And then after that, we just substitute 2a plus 7 and everything that actually canceled out and was good. You have a question?
Why didn't you switch negative 2 to a positive 2?
Somebody just mentioned that to the back of the book, look like that. So just confirming that you could do it. So what I did to get from here to here was I multiplied everything by -1 over -1.
Okay.
Right, so the x changed to minus x, the minus 7 changed to 7. And then
Okay.
So what was the role of the x's?
basically, I think what they're doing, they're just taking one arm of the formula graph, right? Because if you take a look at this one here, excuse me, the vertex of this is going to be 1, 7, it opens down, right? Right? So when they say x is bigger than 1, they're just taking one arm of the problem.
So does it do anything?
Well, just basically makes it, because the thing is, there's two answers here, right? So when they're saying x is bigger than 1, really, what you should be saying here then is that this should probably only be just equal to plus then, instead of plus and minus.
Yeah.
I think it should just be a plus. I think it should just be expected. But I'm not going to be picking on that for you guys for the algebra. Okay. I'm going to leave 16 until we get to later in the course. It won't be on your test. That won't be on your first test. All right. We'll get to it later on. So when we get, we talk about maximum word problems. You might have done those in grade 10, modified version of those, right? Where the idea is like the price. I don't know if you took my class last semester. Where the price goes up and the quantity goes down. So you're selling shirts or rush or yes. Oh, because it's like 2 divided by -2 is -1, right? Okay, so sorry, good question. Whatever is it?
In the square root where it says 2a plus 7, it's supposed to be plus 7 with the end.
Wait, like that? Okay, so basically what I did was, so I did that, and then I said, but, so I went to the, right, so the -1 comes across here to be 1, right, and that equals y, but y is going to be my inverse now, so f inverse is equal to all that. For what? 11:30. 11:30. Yeah.
The bus actually leaves 11:20. No, I want to say or something. Or can
Okay, my favorite math word is probably radical, and that's because I'm from the 80s. I'm not actually from the 90s, okay? But they used to say words like radical all the time in the 80s. Luke was asked what radical. Do you recall what a radical was? What I told you earlier today.
Something square something.
Something square rooted is what it should have been. Okay, so we're going to say the radical is a square root. And what I'm not really so enthusiastic about it now as I once was. So I used to say math is radical all the time. Okay, I sort of turned myself down a little bit here, but yeah, it's also up there too. But I used to say it like 10 times a day. Right, so the grade 9 is not there anymore. So here we go. Here are my rules here. We're going to say root of A times root of B equals root of AB. And the root of A divided by the root of B equals the root of A over B. I'm going to say A is greater than or equal to 0, and B is greater than 0. Okay, why do I need to put those silly restrictions in there for the domain? Why not say that A is greater than or equal to 0? You guys are scribbling, I'm getting started to scribble. Why does A have to be positive? Yeah, go ahead.
Because they're negatives, and then you divide by, if you divide by negative, it would be like a positive.
Not really. Sort of. I know what you're trying, okay, right? But think of what we're doing here. We're taking the square root, right? So you can't take the square root of a negative, right? That's the idea, right? The same thing I said B has just to be greater than 0 because I'm dividing by B here. So I can't divide B by 0, right? Like you can't divide by 0, that causes an error. All right, so we're going to say here, to simplify, means to find another expression with the same value. It doesn't mean use your calculator. So we're going to find ways to simplify radicals, simplify square roots today. This is very useful as you get to higher math, okay, for sure. All right, so as we're moving on here, and the reason I put a big lesson for this is one, it's in the curriculum. Two, Mr. Count teaches advanced functions every year, and everyone loves Mr. Count. And he says to me, I say to him every year, I say, what's one thing the grade 12s are the weakest on, they need help in grade 11? And they said radicals, for sure. Okay, their skills in this are poor, so taking a minute to make sure you guys do that right now. Okay, so here we go. Here's the way to do it. To simplify a radical. Number 1. Find the largest perfect square that divides evenly. Okay, so what I mean by that, for example, okay, so the days are going to be gone when you plug that in your calculator and you say that equals 6.98342 or whatever that happens to equal. Okay, we're going to use an exact value. The reason I'm doing this is that a lot of schools, I should have asked those two when they came in, when you get to university in 2 years, most of you won't be able to use a calculator in your first year. Okay, so I don't know if I told you that horse right or not, but you probably won't be able to use a calculator the first year. So things like this you'll want to be able to find approximations of, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're making stuff up. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our times table here and find out what 48 will evenly divide by. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and divide it by these beautiful yellow numbers here. Why am I choosing to divide it by 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, whatever? Go ahead.
You know, square roots.
You know, perfect, easy square roots. Okay, like perfect square roots, all perfect squares, right? So take a look at 48. What's 48 going to divide by? What times what? Go ahead.
4 and 12.
4 and 12. Yes, it's true. Okay. I have a better answer than 4 and 12. Okay, so 12 can still be broken down. What's the biggest number 48 can be divided by? 24 and 2, well, that doesn't help. 16 and 3, I'm going to try. Okay. Now, you're allowed to use your calculator for this to divide those out. I'm going to pick on Leo since he's sitting in the back so quietly. What's the square root of 16 going to be, Leo? 4. So what we just done, we said 48, root of 48 is the same as 4 root of 3, which is nice. Now please look at what we did there, right? We looked for the biggest. So I'm going to pick on Alex's way, because Alex's way will still work. I'll do Alex's way because 16 isn't obvious how to divide. But he saw 4 and 12. Does everyone see why 6 and 8 is bad though? Does everyone see why 6 and 8 is not going to work for us? Okay, the problem with 6 and 8 is what's the square root of 6? I don't know. 2 point something? What's the square root of 8? I don't know. 3 point something. I can't do anything with them, right? But because I can square root 16 evenly to be 4, then that's the number I want to use. Okay, so I want to use all of these big numbers right there. I'm going to use Alex's method. I can do a few of these to make sure we get these before I get to your method. Let's go for the square root of 50. Okay. Did I go backwards in the front room? All right. Go ahead. Can you tell me, please, how I can divide? What can I change 50 into? 2 and 25. Good. I'm glad you didn't say 5 and 10. Why? I'm going to tell you again. Why is 5 and 10 not useful to us, but 25 and 2 is wonderful? Yeah. Right on. Like 5 is like, the square root of 5 is like 2.3 or something. The square root, Riley, what's this here? The square root of 10 is like 3 point something. Okay, great. All right, Leah, what's the square root of 25 going to be? Good. So that's just 5 root 2. Okay. Please ask. This isn't easy the first time through. This is extremely difficult. Luke, go ahead.
So you're just skipping the step where you split it and just
Yeah.
square root 25.
Sorry, I should probably include that since this is, well, goodness. Since this is your, like, second example of this, okay, I should probably do that. And for long term, yeah, I will be ignoring that step. But I'll rate it here first. Excuse me. What do you want?
Oh, just another question. For dots,
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, because X like a do variable.
Is it just one dot? Yeah.
Okay, I see lots of questions. Start at the back. Liam, go.
What? Square root of 2 is like 1 point.
Yeah, so that's why we don't play with that. That's why that stays in the square root. Okay? Because anything that doesn't work out nicely, you leave in your square root because you can't do anything with it, right?
And what's the point of bringing it down to 5?
I'm glad I asked you. Glad you asked. This is like the level 1 difficulty. When I move up the intensity, you can simplify things very nicely with this. Okay, that's the idea. Fine. Oh, go ahead.
So really, when you find like 25 and 2,
Yeah.
and then when you bring it apart, you're only square rooting the one that can square root.
Perfect. Yeah. Like you're actually squaring both of them, but 2 doesn't one hand, so you're leaving the extra root. Exactly. Do you have a question or you're good? Okay. I'll try to let you struggle for a second with one of these yourself. Ready? Here we go. Oh, I'm gonna pick a huge one. Here we go. You know what the thing was? I was getting too excited about the example. Like I was getting myself all worked up, and then I wasn't even paying attention when I was doing that. Okay. I will give one of these on your test just to be cruel. One with big numbers like that. Okay. Now you're saying to yourself, you can use your calculator to find the numbers. 363 will not evenly work out, but 363 will probably be by